So the last video is kind of getting way more attention than anything I've ever done on this channel so far, so I wanted to deep dive into Pizza Tower. Can you blame me? Let's be honest. For those who didn't watch my last video, I'll bring you up to speed. Pizza Tower is a platformer that was released this year that focuses on a frantic, focused, and nearly zen-like platforming experience. But the meat of the game is learning it, optimizing it, and practicing it for that payoff. And believe me, the game will make you work for that payoff. Right. So, if the game begs to be played time and time again, the music had better be good, right? You bet your pasta this music fits the aesthetic and mood of the game perfectly. So, who are the masterminds behind this soundtrack? Why, that would be these lovely people right here floating on screen. I've talked about them in my other video, but I will give you a very brief breakdown of how this whole thing was put together. Mr. Sauceman, or Ronan de Castel, was the first person on the project and did most of the tracks on Pizza Tower. Most of their tracks are very progressive, meaning they take you on a journey through different feelings as the song goes on. Next up is Classy Gito, who also goes by these names here, contributed the next giant chunk of music for this game. Their music is very groovy and funky. Post Elvis is next. He, as far as I can tell, is only labeled as doing the song Pizza Deluxe, which is the file select theme, but I'm sure he helped with many other things as well. Now, for some minor work, but still just as important, Kyobot, or Bernadette Perez, did vocals for the game, including the Hello There in the It's Pizza Time track, while Jared, Jackknife Shaw, provided their guitar expertise to the soundtrack. That's it for the artists, but what about the inspiration? And how do we use that same inspiration to make something that fits Pizza Tower? Well, the game itself is inspired by the Wario Land series of games, as well as 90s cartoons, but the music is inspired by a lot of things in my opinion. It's not afraid to get silly and weird. If I had to guess, I would say much of the inspiration came from Wario Land 4 or Wario Land 3 and Earthworm Jim, while the more minor inspirations would be like Jet Set Radio and various video game related media like Super Mario Bros. Movie. So it would be in our best interest to kind of stick to those themes. So let's get cooking. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Cool Kids section. You know the one, the only one, the best one. Alright, so let's get into it. I just wanted to make mention of, before we actually get into the thing, that I spent a couple hours doing more research and getting a bunch of like samples. So bunch of Pizza Tower samples. We have also Hanna-Barbera sound effects. I have scratches from forever ago, from whenever I first started the Jet Set Radio. I called it "In Pizza We Crust." Okay, hold on. Can't believe it's already almost been an hour and I have basically nothing to show for it. We have officially found the guitar that we want. It is done. Like, no more searching for the guitars. The whole timer thing is throwing everything off. Like, it's like, oh, it happened in the past or whatever. Like, and because it keeps resetting. So it's a problem. This is very difficult to record. It's kind of like impossible to record with my microphone and also record with OBS with the same microphone and it not be absolutely the most annoying thing ever to listen to. So, basically what I did is I made this funky riff. I played this on guitar and I recorded it with the microphone and the amp. pretty solid loop, if you ask me. Very funky. Okay, so we've gone through a couple of changes here. So the bass line I had before wasn't working out. It just really wasn't. So what I was doing, for the most part, I was rearranging the bass in a way that makes sense. So, and I added a bunch of like random, you know, samples that sort of help accentuate what Pizza Tower is going for, which is that nostalgia, right? We got the burpy Philly hit. We got the regular Philly hit, right? Some other stuff going on here.
Wild and wonderful music.
Just to help the ambience of it. I made a new beat and bass line. Basically, I took this one right here, sorry. Right? And then I cut all of the individual pieces into their individual parts. So when this plays, it's just like just a pretty basic thing, but I can arrange it in different ways. I just liked it fitting this better. The funky riff I had going just fit better than this. So I'm not sure if I will get rid of that or transition into it or something like that, but that's sort of what's going on there. But yeah, the bass line. Kind of simple, but also, you know, it is exactly what it needs to be. It's lovely. And I just came up with something on guitar, and I have it recorded in Audacity, but I think I'm going to put it in there using this instead of the regular guitar, because I think it would fit Pizza Tower's aesthetic better. But it goes like this. Okay, so we got, you know, honestly, it sounds pretty cool. There's something about the simple MIDI nature of it that, I don't know, it just hits a specific vibe that I didn't ever think to embrace before. Like, obviously, I like old video game music and stuff like that, but this hits different. This hits like Windows 98, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so check it out. We got the guitar sound that we've had since the beginning, but also I added in this weird like guitar synth from Bomberman 64. Check it out. There, now it feels like it's a proper start to the thing. So I just added this part right here. Well, okay, hold on, let me explain some things. I used the motif I mean, it's all over the fucking game all the time, so I just used it. But this is the boss vulnerable sound effect from the game. I just used that as a bell. Then we got this bass line, which is just a long note and doo doo doom ba da bum. You know, slow, simple. A simplified version of the drum track here. So we got this one, right? But then the other one is like this. A little lighter, a little easier, you know what I mean? Give it a moment of rest. So it comes into this part. One thing I did add for funsies, I added the Rugrats like Boz. And I thought that would be, because like the game borrows from like so many cartoons and stuff. It's just, it felt right to me. Like I'm a 90s baby, you know what I mean? I fucking grew up with Rugrats. I grew up with a bunch of old cartoons. So it makes sense to me to add it, but I mean, I could understand why they wouldn't want to do that, you know, because I mean, you could get in trouble, but that's not the point. The point is to make something that fits, and I think that fits. All right, so let's move on. Okay. Okay, dude. I can't not use that, bro. What do you mean? I can't not use that. Okay, we're gonna use it almost as a riser. We gotta find out where it ends, though. Pretty much right there. Like, I wouldn't hate it ending right there. So... but give it some reverb, though. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna record me saying pizza. Give me a second. Alright, I got my pizza. Pizza! I also did a beatbox. It's not in time, but I can fix it. So, let's first put the pizza down. Then we go ahead and add reverb, of course. Now, okay, if you were smart, you would do reverb on an FX channel and then put all of your voice samples on the same FX channel so you don't have to add reverb every single time. But I don't care. Look, if I spell it right, spell it wrong, doesn't matter. Whatever, as long as I know what it is. And then get into the clone it again, but then hit them with the, you know what I mean? That fucking Streets of Rage boss theme bass line. Da 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 da. Now, so once again, whenever you have like offbeat samples, you want it to like hit on the beat when it's supposed to. So it's like half right here. Da da da. I think it might just be better to end it there, because I don't want the song to drag out too long, to be honest, you know? That sounds good enough to me. And if I was working on it, like, if I was working on a game, like, full-time or whatever, like, for the soundtrack, I would make it longer. A lot of the songs in the soundtrack are longer, but they've been working on that game for, like, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? So, for the sake of my channel, I'm going to cut it off here, and keep it simple, but I really had a lot of fun like doing this and getting a bunch of sound effects and using them in interesting ways and stuff. Like, this is kind of an eye-opener to me in a lot of ways, this project. So I appreciate everybody checking it out, and let's have a listen. Nice. Thanks for listening with me. If I were to change anything, I would use less of the guitar riff because even though it's a cool riff, it gets old fast on repeat listens. However, I think the song fits the aesthetic, but I'm not sure it fits the level. Oh well. Either way, I had fun and I hope you did too. If you want to know what I'm composing for next, you can follow me on Twitter or subscribe or whatever you want to do. There's a bunch of links in the description. If you are interested in the other games that I've covered on the channel, click on T-Vi's face. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Later.
Bye.